All right, let's go to the next question, ma'am.
First of all, I'd like to say that you represent the entire city, but you represent District 1, and you're supposed to listen to the constituents in District 1. Well, I'm a constituent in District 1, and I came before you and the commission for years on the project 1508 North Ocean Boulevard, and it is being basically developed against all our wishes. I collected 1,395 signatures opposing that development. People got up in droves at the meetings and spoke against it. You voted for it. You voted for it.
Do you have a question, ma'am?
I do have a question. Now it's rearing its ugly head again. The developers signed an agreement with the city to improve the North Ocean Beach Park. Well, guess what? Now they want to take over the North Ocean Beach Park and make it look like it's their front yard. And they're working with the city right now to have private beach access and a walkway right through the park to the development, out to the beach. Now, I want to know, are you going to stand up against them, or are you going to green light like you do every other private developer? Because it's been happening way too much in this city, and we're sick of it.
So I'm going to answer that in two different things. First off, there were people who were upset about development, and there were people who were gung-ho for the development. Now, as far as the signatures that were presented to us in a quasi-judicial hearing, although there was a claim for 1,300 plus signatures, what you gave us was a top sheet with 5 signatures and a ream of blank paper.
Guess what? I was called a liar about that. I have the signatures with me tonight, and you come and take a look at them.
You didn't present them at the time of the vote.
No, you come and take a look at them, and you can apologize to me, because I know that I have them right here in my bag. So you come and take a look, Andrea.
Ma'am, what was presented the night of the vote?
Listen, I got up at that vote, and I said, this is a visual representation. I said that. You could go back to the...
In a quasi-judicial hearing, we have to go with the evidence that is presented. As we explained to you, that's why you have to swear in a quasi-judicial. I'm just saying what I was given. What I was given... Anyways, as far as what the developers agreed to, we can't do anything.
I gave a visual representation. That's what I said.
All right, let's
There were 336 signatures presented before the Planning and Zoning Board that should have followed that development, as well as a signed affidavit that was presented that night. So don't tell me
that is what was presented,
and they were supposed to be public record.
And as far
where are they?
I'll answer the rest of the question. In that meeting too, the developers had already committed to a minimum $300,000 improvement to a park that I went by the other day. It's dilapidated, no one goes there. We heard a lot from the residents about. I was there last week.
All right, let's calm down, everybody.
We heard a lot from the residents about the especially the restrooms, especially the way in which they face.
The city should kick them out.
Let's let the commissioner answer the question, please.
And as far as talking to developers, which I have spoken with them, of course they're going to want the beach. Why not? But I told them specifically. You know what I said to them when they told me they wanted to do this thing on the beach? I said you should have bought beachfront.
Guess what? That property that is North Ocean Park was given to the city in perpetuity by the woman that had to be a public beach park.
And as the city, we are not even allowed to give it away without.
That is true.
I noticed. And we are not allowed, as the city, to give away any park or beach without a public referendum. It is not a conversation that is happening or being entertained. Even if the developers are wanting it, it is not being entertained. It is misinformation that's being spread around because it's an election year. It is not being entertained. We are not giving the beach to anybody. And as far as the park renovations, yeah, they're going to make it look beautiful. They're going to make it look better. They've spoken with the surf camp. They're going to expand the pavilion. They're doing a lot of things that are all to the benefit of us, because it's fully public, on their own dime. They're looking to spend right now, last estimate I heard was closer to $3 million. That's $3 million in taxpayer dollars that we are not spending there, but getting all the benefits for everyone in this room to go and enjoy.
a manicured front yard for them, and that's what they want.
But not the residents want.
All right, let's let Ms. Fesik answer that question.
So this is something
Please, everybody.
this
Please.
specific project was something that I became aware of when I was campaigning, and I ended up going to North Ocean Park and meeting residents, and they had expressed to me as their concern regarding this beach park. The reason why, so I'm a researcher, so I like to do research, and so what I did was I found out that what was presented, and I reached out to the people. I watched all the videos from the city commission meetings twice, and specifically related to this project. Now, what's interesting is that the way that the city works is you have documentation attached to each project. So, at the planning and zoning meeting in December of 2017, Ms. Jeannie, I'll murder the spell, I won't be able to say your last name, but Jeannie submitted, the beginning was 336 signatures with the city petition, and it is stamped by the city with a sign and signed by the city that they actually received this as part of this project. So this was the beginning, and it even says on here that we will continue to collect signatures. This should have been attached to that project from day one. I could never find it anywhere. She had a copy, thank God for that. As far as the signatures that were collected, and I don't want to get too much in this, but as far as the signatures that were collected, here it is. Here's a copy of what was presented that night, which again, miraculously, was not part of city record, and I'm not sure why. But it has two signatures, not five. But it says basically it's an affidavit signed by a notary that it's personally came and appeared before me, that has 1,395 paper petition signatures and 232 online petition signatures in opposition to the rezoning of the property at the community allocation dated 23rd day of July 2019. So she does have a copy of it. It should have been for the record, and so that's why people are pissed. And by the way, I will say this to you as well, related to the park. I think it's wonderful that the developers wanted to add money to the park, but the problem is the way that the development agreement was written, the city manager can sign off with final approval on that park without public input. So we have already been to the city commission meeting, and we have been asking them to please let the public review the park. The images that they have presented so far to the development review committee show it looking like an extension of their exact property. They show it, the pavilion is gone. It's now a, what do you call those little, like a pergola, thank you. It's like a pergola with some swinging rocking chairs. There is active use at that park on a daily basis. Every weekend, there's meetings held there, Saturdays and Sundays. There's families who are using that. In the diagrams, it basically looks like it's not going to be a public park, even though it will be publicly available. And from the last thing we heard is they're trying to change things. Now, again, Ms. McGee did say that they can change things via referendum. Referendums require one meeting. So if you miss it, sorry about your luck.
That would be a public vote, a public referendum. Oh, I said, no, but it'd be a public referendum. That would be a public vote to dispose of beach or park property. And as far as, yes, the park is going to look very nice. And it's going to be so open to the public that they're also having a cafe that's open to the public. So when you have your meetings there, you'll be able to go to their public cafe and meet them in the public park because it will be public. And so, yes, I'm excited for an upgraded park that looks a lot better and that I can enjoy whenever I want as well. That's at the level of what's being built on the beach and how that's somehow not good. And I have to say, I've talked to so many more people who have moved to Pompano because of what we're doing here, or have grown up in Pompano and are coming back because of what we're doing here, because they love the changes. So to say that we're not listening or we're not hearing, not in this room, and maybe, but if you go out and you're wandering around on the beaches and you talk to people who are out and about, they love what we're doing here. And that's why we've been listed in Forbes as one of the top destinations to move. TripAdvisor has us as one of the top destinations to visit by reviews. Yahoo Finance put us as, and this is not just my subjective thinking, this is an objective value, and we're listening. And again, my biggest thing is I want to lower our overall tax rates. Do we have to invest in order to be able to see the return and not end up in a situation like Lighthouse Point and Largo Sea? We did. We also invest in our infrastructure. We're doing drainage. Over in Harbor Village, we're slated to have a whole, I've been trying to fight for asphalt for years now. But first we have to dig up, we're funded for the drainage. Riverside Drive, we're getting funded for the drainage so then we can fix that up. All of these things, the cost of construction, the cost of everything has gone up. And the only way to offset that is to make sure our valuation is also increasing and that we're having opportunities for residents, for businesses, for everyone here in Pompano to continue to enjoy it, and that's the smartest way to get it done.